Perfect. You ready?
Cleared. Yep.
Ready to do this? Yeah. Can I bring us in? Do you want to bring us in? What do you want?
I'll bring us in. I think you've done the last few.
Yeah, great.
Welcome back to the Dare to Dream podcast, a podcast that inspires you to embark on the adventure of your life. My name is Vincent Van Patten,
And I am Gregory Russell Benedict.
and today we are going to talk about a theme that is very important to us too, as we usually do, what we're dealing with, grappling with, mulling over, and what's inspiring us at the moment. Greg, what's the latest and greatest?
Yes. So today's episode is going to be about having extraordinary life experiences. And how that relates to what I'm up to is last Friday, I had an epiphany, and I think I'm going to be changing what I call myself as a coach. I'm going to be changing from a life and leadership coach to a human potential coach. Human potential has something that has always resonated with me. And the definition of human potential is the capacity to build oneself through learning, through reading, through studying, and through practice. And that last piece is really important to me. The practice, it's your daily habits, it's how you go through life, it's seeking discomfort, it's doing things outside your comfort zone. And becoming a human potential coach and helping coach people towards that idealized version of themselves and that full expression is exactly what I want to do. And one more thing is my mission in life, what I've been telling people is that my mission in life is to help others realize their potential. That's good and fine, but how does one actually realize one's potential? And I got clarity around this on Friday. You realize your potential through having extraordinary life experiences. And that's the type of person I want to work with. I want the clients I work with to be knocking down my door to work with me because they want to have extraordinary, legendary life experiences.
Hmm.
These experiences that they have with them for their whole life, no matter where life takes them, no matter where they end up, they can sit there when they're old and wrinkled and think back on these amazing experiences where they learned about themselves, they learned about others, and honestly dared to dream. That's all the pieces felt like they came together when I thought of working with people to realize their potential through having extraordinary life experiences.
Love that, buddy. And that is so first thing that I was thinking about when, this idea of potential, and this is something that I've kind of been thinking about lately as well. And I think this is why we are a great duo, because we could bounce off each other and create something through both of our life experiences and what we're, how we see the world. And so I think potential, the first thing that kind of started coming up was just, routine, building yourself through little acts every day, kind of making sure like everything is all the boxes are checked to achieve a certain thing or make sure you're going in the right direction. And obviously there's nothing wrong with that. I've just been thinking also about how that doesn't resonate with me as much of like I need to make sure I do all this stuff and then like I'll be happy as a person. Like if I, do my morning routine and make sure this is all checked. But what resonates with me is a story worth telling. So how you make it, how you like transition to making it through having life experiences, realizing potential. I think that is a beautiful, uh, you know, beautiful, not end result, but just, I don't know, something worth striving for that is extremely valuable. And because I see life as sort of like you can't imagine what is going to happen. And there's this, we see life as a story. So it's like, is life that interesting of a story if you're just like checking the boxes and doing these certain things and kind of staying comfortable in a way, pushing yourself to be uncomfortable through, you know, doing new things and progressing, but not truly facing the world and getting out there and doing, you know, interesting things. And we've talked about that before, just like the importance of doing interesting stuff. But I think there is a blend or harmony of, because obviously I do love like routine stuff too. Like just telling you about today how I'm just inspired and writing and back in the gym doing a different, like a new program, hopefully that helped me strengthen my weak points, my back and hips. And so like obviously there are things you have to take care of to make sure you are progressing again, becoming that person that you want to be. But I think it does boil down to, are you having those experiences in life that make you grateful to be on this planet, be alive and be a human being? And those are things we can't necessarily expect or plan for entirely, but it is some sort of harmony between between, you know, going for your potential by doing those little things and making sure you're progressing, but also living an adventure in some way and allowing for some serendipitous escapades or just life experiences.
Yeah, I feel like it's so hard to express and articulate why, when we read an article by Ryan Holiday, why you must live an interesting life, like why that speaks to us so much. And I feel like it really is embedded in the get out there and have these extraordinary experiences, or maybe just get out there and have experiences. It's writing the story as you go and
Mhm.
doing the traditional, non-traditional, just doing something. I think that's what resonates with us the most. I mean, that's why we named the podcast the Dare to Dream podcast. Is it's you have to get out there and follow that innate inner guidance, the thing
Mhm.
that's urging you on.
For sure. It comes back to just progressing the plot in some way. And that doesn't even need to be like, you're getting out there and like doing all this crazy stuff every day. That could just be hitting your routine and taking little chances in your daily life and doing things that lights you up and putting out one more story or writing a song or calling that person that you were scared to call. Could be anything like that. Just progressing the plot in some way to make, you know, your life going the way that you think it could. And potential is it's it's an interesting one. I obviously on the surface understand what it means, and it's like what you could be, what you could, the possibility of you becoming this future self. There's potential to be that person. Yeah, but also the, I don't know if it's a grappling with what is, but the acceptance of just like the, I don't know. I think we should be striving to be. I don't know. I'm having a reaction to saying better than we are, or like more than we are. I don't know if that's right. What do you think? Like, what is potential to you?
I think potential to me is becoming all that you can be. It's realizing all of the parts of yourself that are now unknown to you, that you have the capability to develop, you have the capability to become. And it's through work. They don't just turn on randomly, but it's through putting yourself in life experiences that unlock certain parts of yourself. I think that's why it's so important to get out there
Mm,
and have experiences regardless of what they are, good or bad, because they bring in new parts of you and you can integrate those parts into yourself to be this like fully realized being. And you'll never reach your full potential. It's kind of undefined and endless, but that feels like the only thing, if we zoom way out, that feels like the only thing that's going to matter in the end. It's not your money, it's not the physical things you built, but it's your character and who you became as a person, and ultimately how that impacted the other people in your life.
mm. I like that a lot. Yeah, it's, by getting out there, and it literally does unlock different parts of your DNA and who you could be by having different life experiences, meeting different kinds of people, doing things that scare you, facing that feeling you have of, man, I'm shaken because this is nerve-wracking, but that's, the physical sensation of growing. And so I love that, yeah, that blend of, realizing that there is obviously more to us than what we understand at this moment. And that's the journey of life. And so I'm excited for, sounds like your coaching program is already taking a new step in a great way. And I think this is great. I think it's awesome.
Thanks, man. And just to add one additional layer to that, and then we can jump to, I really want to share the money story, the breakdown in the matrix that I experienced. So I had a coach ask me, so what differentiate what differentiates you as a coach? And that's a really hard question to answer. And
Yeah.
it almost felt like confrontational. And as I sat with it longer and longer and like listened to myself, I realized, okay, I think what differentiates myself beyond all the buzzwords I could say of being really curious and listening well and all of that,
Yeah.
it's that I want to be all in with my clients. I want to be in their corner. I want to be their coach. I want to be their champion. At times, I want to be their cheerleader. When I work with someone, I want to transcend the traditional coaching client relationship and really let them know and show that I am there for them. I am in their corner. And I got this idea. I don't want my whole life to be sitting behind a Zoom screen, just having these coaching calls, every 2 weeks and getting updates in the middle. Like I want to be there for all of it. And so I have an idea. It is not fully articulated, but it's going to
You're gonna
be
be at
this
the little
coach.
league games and kissing babies. You're
Exactly. I'm going to be babysitting their
gonna be
kids.
the fruit roll-up guy at the soccer match.
I'm going to be bringing orange slices at halftime. It's going to be so good. So it's going to be this offering. It's going to be my highest tier. It's going to be called the Dream Experience. And clients who work with me on that, it's going to be 100% guaranteed that during our time together, they will have a once in a lifetime dream experience, because that's what the whole coaching engagement is going to be about. It's going to be, we're going to spend a lot of time figuring out what is your biggest dream. And then once they say that, okay, like what's the dream behind the dream? And is this the thing that you really want to aim at? And when it is, when we finally get to that place, then that's when the coaching starts. But it's going to be working towards this big event, whether it's writing a book or performing on stage at an open mic or skydiving or climbing a mountain, like whatever it is, we work towards that. I coach them through it. And then if it's helpful, if they want it, I show up and do the thing with them at the end.
Nice.
Like that's what I want to be known as. I want to be that like crazy coach who does the thing with you at the end. Like it's going to scare me. I'm going to have to overcome my own fear and doubt and uncertainty, but really show up for them in a way where we do it together.
Mm, love it, buddy. I was just thinking too, I'm like, the Dare to Dream podcast. wh- What does that mean to us? Why do we start with it, and where's it going to go? And it's pretty awesome how we can't back down now. Like we're in this thing, and
This is a bad
it's
time
good.
to tell you that I'm about to quit. This is the last episode.
This is my final performance. Yeah, we have to be pushing ourselves to put our money where our mouth is, so to speak, and live that dream, go for it and help people along the way. Because another big revelation I had was I just want to help people in this life.
Yep.
Like there, nothing means more than that, than doing something that Jay Shetty's kind of recipe for success, or recipe for your passion, actually. Um, Something that you're good at that isn't just for you, something you're good at that helps other people. If you find that is your calling, pretty much. And other than if it's just for you, it's not obviously nothing wrong with that. It could be your passion or anything, but it's truly your calling. It is making the world a better place. And just seeing people affected by just kindness and doing good is just like, I just want to help people. And I think that's what this podcast is about. That's what our work is about. It's kind of unpacking what it means to be alive in a way that connects us all, no matter our culture, race, religion, sex, and because there's just this underlying, beating heart, this whole existence that I think is beautiful and yeah, breaks me down at times, and it's wild. It's wild being here. So that's where we're headed, and it's very exciting.
Yes. And it's crazy that we started this 2 years ago, I think, 2.5. I don't know. I lose track. We started this thing. It was to document our journey into the unknown, our call to adventure. And we've been all over the place. Like we've tried doing episodes just us, we've had guests on, and now like I had this vision, and I haven't told you this yet, but I feel like a potential future, I'm just going to say it now so we have this documented, is like we have episodes in the future where it's like the whole story of someone's dream, like from start to finish, and like we're with them along the way, and then the end is like us doing the crazy thing with them. Like I'm roping you into this too.
Bring me in.
And it's just
Saddle
literally
up.
helping people first dare to dream and then actually do the dream. Like
Yeah.
do the thing that they've been wanting to do, but that they've been putting off. And that just excites me beyond words.
Yeah, that's just living a story worth telling. That is uh having those life experiences that, I think this will tie in with your bank story, but there's nothing more important, I don't think, in life than doing the things that fill you with satisfaction and fulfillment, and just like a genuine zest for life. And it's not easy to find. Like, just was reading that article again, how to do what you love. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's not easy, for so many of us. It's hard, like even knowing where to look to find this thing that you might love to do. And then if you find it, there's a good chance, if it's like your passion, it won't make money for a while. And then how to create a life out of that. That's obviously what we're going through, but there's nothing more worth going for, I think.
100%. And I think coming to terms with the fact that our belief that I know we have a shared belief that finding your passion and following your passion is everything. Accepting that not everyone is going to resonate with that. Not everyone's going to agree with that, and that's fine. Like
Mhm.
there are people who are not in our tribe who don't resonate with our message, and there's people who just agree with us, and yeah, getting comfortable with that.
I think so, for sure. And yes, I really built up this bank story, but it's another thing with just like what we're really doing here. Is it to make the most money, or is it to feel like you are genuinely making a difference in the world, and enjoying the ride? Like, if you're slaving away at a job to make money, it is I just, obviously a lot of people are in that position, so it's tough. But all right,
I
let's
gotta I
hear
gotta share
it.
one quick story before that. So I'm on this Zoom call the other day, and I'm not gonna share specifics. It probably doesn't matter, but I'm not gonna share specifics. This woman was talking about how she works in a governmental job, works for the government. She hates her work, but she said that she she mentors kids and students, like college students. And she said that the best advice she gives to college students is to find a job in government because they can't fire you and you get a pension. And then she goes on to say, yeah, like I hate my work, like, don't really like what I'm doing, but when I turn 62, I get a huge pension. I get $200,000 for the rest of my life. And that's when I can start enjoying my life. And I haven't heard anything recently that has made me want to throw up and die on the inside more than that. Like it took
Where was it? Where'd you?
I don't want to share specifics
Okay, yeah, yeah.
just in case she's listening. She's not. Like it made me want to die on the inside. I was like, it took everything I had to not come off mute and be like, okay, what happens if you die when you're 62 in 1 month? Like you're gonna postpone your entire life just to get this thing in the future so you can. Ah man, it destroyed me.
Yeah.
It destroyed me on the inside.
And that's why it's this kind of, you know, it's not like it's not black and white. Like, it's not like you just slave away until you're 62 and then life becomes like, who's to say that she's going to love life at that point anyway. But it's also not um absolutely just loving life every step of the way, like where we are now. We're working at something, and hopefully try to inspire people to work at something that is going to take a lot of effort, and you might have to do it, like I'm doing, while having another job. And hopefully, but in that, I'm finding deep satisfaction and joy. And yeah, it's gonna take work. It definitely will take work, and even just thinking about it. But we got one life to live. Confucius says we have two lives. The second one starts when you realize we have one.
So good.
Mm.
I should have just dropped that in the chat on that Zoom call. Okay, here we go. Bank story. So let me preface this with saying, you know that time where you think of a word, or you say a word too many times in a row, and you start to wonder, like, is this a real word, or am I spelling it right? Like bowl,
Right.
like what you eat cereal out of, a bowl.
A
And then you're
bowl.
like, bowl, bowl, and then you're like, what? Like, is this a real thing? So anyways, I don't know if that's helpful, but I had a
Bowl.
moment the other day. I had a moment the other day where I felt like the there was a glitch in the matrix, and I kind of saw through the absurdity of it all. So I sold my car. I have another car. I'm not doing some like nomad lifestyle thing. I sold a car and was driving to the bank to deposit the cash. And I have, a decently large chunk of change in this white envelope that's sitting next to me it's right in shotgun. I'm driving to the bank and I'm looking at this envelope and I'm like, wow, these little pieces of paper inside, they were $100 bills. Like, these little pieces of paper inside this white envelope are what some people spend their whole life striving to get. They sacrifice their time, they sacrifice their health, time with their family. They work a job that they hate so that they can get a bunch of these little pieces of paper delivered when they're 62. I'm driving to the bank and I'm just like, what? Like, how is this even real? Like, these little pieces of paper, how does it really, like, obviously I can trade them in for things and that can make me happy. But so I'm thinking this, and I get to the bank and I get out and I go inside the bank. And then I'm like, this is a weird experience. I'm going into this building that's like really fancy on purpose. Everyone's wearing a suit. Everyone, like, why is everyone so unhappy? And then I hand in my little pieces of paper, and then I come home and I open my phone and check my bank app, and my score has increased. And then I started thinking about, okay, like that makes sense from a just this allows me to buy more things standpoint. But then I really started thinking, I've for sure attributed monetary success in the past to like being a good person, or like being smart, like being driven, being industrious. When in reality, all it means is that you have more little pieces of paper. Like,
Mhm.
if person A has more pieces of little paper than person B, it has absolutely nothing to do with their character, their worth as a person. And I have no idea if any of this is landing or resonating, but I feel like for the first time in a while, I really got into the essentials of money doesn't buy happiness. Money doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you more valuable. It's literally just that you have more of these little pieces of paper in your envelope. Like, great.
Yeah, it is a wild concept. And I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you give up so much time of your life to acquiring this thing that makes it so you can do things, in the world. And that is what I think we've talked about. The reason I want to make money is to be free to do the things we love and to live more meaningful lives. But to do it,
I gotta jump in for 1 sec.
please.
You said we make money to do things in the world. What if we did things in the world to make money? Like doing things in the world that really fulfilled us and lit
Mhm.
us up. It's like, it almost seems like the equation is backwards and that we should flip it.
It definitely is. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, money is the way to survive. And I think what we realized is, or at least me at this point, living in a small apartment here in Japan, that I don't need much to survive and to love life because I'm doing something that sincerely makes me happy, and writing and doing the podcast and traveling. Yet, obviously, you need money to exist and live, and people, start having families. But then it gets tricky when, yeah, how much you have is your worth as a human being and how people see you. And that causes people to work for these pieces of paper just to look better in the eyes of others and to make them believe that they themselves are worth love, the love of others. So it is strange, man. Trying to disentangle what is worth striving for, because obviously it's difficult too. That we want to be successful, air quotes, in the sense that we want to be able to do stuff and like have families that we can support and go. I was just thinking that I'm like, yeah, I want to go on like badass vacations with my family one day. Like, how am I gonna pay for that? Like, I don't know, just these what money. I just think the symbolism of it, and like, why is success a person who has put in the time to make the money or not? Like, people could be successful because they got lucky, because they had a niche in the system. Obviously, there are infinite ways to make money, and that's also makes it interesting. But yeah, it's a strange one.
Yeah, and it's not like we're out here picketing for the death of capitalism.
No,
We
by no means.
we both want to make a lot of money, and I want to make a ton of money doing something that I love. I want money to
Definitely.
be the byproduct of me being so fired up in what I'm doing that I have a blast and it provides a lot of value to people. And that's when I want to have money, which is the energy to do things.
I think that's it. It's you get paid to do something that is valuable to human beings. Like, I do feel good about what I'm doing now with teaching English. Like, I sincerely feel like this is a worthy job for this stage of my life. It definitely is. And for anybody, teaching it, I think, is awesome. But I know, I mean, I've just been thinking about how my trajectory is going to go here in Japan. And I think after a certain point, like, somehow I need to do something that's like what I want to do 100% of the time. And that'll obviously take a lot of work too. But I think if we are honest with ourselves and keep taking those small steps, wherever we see a little shimmer of light, go towards it. And sometimes it's very unexplainable why you feel that way, but people might not understand it either, but you got to do it. And one day, like what happened with me in Tokyo, things that you can't imagine happening will happen. And that'll give you the inspiration to keep going, take another step, and eventually come out of the tunnel, hands up, fist pumping.
Exactly. That's the recipe. And buddy, your trajectory, you are plummeting upwards. You are
Well, thank you.
skyrocketing downwards. If I if
Oh,
I
thanks,
had
man.
if I had more money, if I had more pieces of paper to bet on you, I would, my friend.
Wow. Thanks, man. Likewise. We're doing it. We're doing it. And hopefully it does help other people, because, you know, that's everything, truly.
That is it. That is everything. So I think we land the plane here. I Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I've a slight somber note, but it might be worthwhile. Yesterday, just had a pretty busy day, just like doing a lot of personal stuff, like working on podcast episode from last week, writing, just kind of looking into like plans and just doing a lot of, ticking things off to-do lists. And at a certain point, I kind of got overwhelmed, like at night, just like thinking about all this stuff, everything I had to do, work coming up, just, classic worries. And got a few messages from my family that like a good family friend, one of the closest, was he's not going to make it through the night, like dying with cancer.
Mm.
And person I know extremely well. And couldn't believe it. I passed away this morning, and his whole family was there, and just made me realize like none of it matters. All these things I got worried about, and just the things that get us so caught up. It really is. I just thought about, we've had great times together where I do feel I connected with him and showed support and showed love. And that is, it's nothing as important as that. Like nothing as important as connecting with people and just trying to be good. Just trying to be good. And
Mm.
yeah, just the little things. Listen to this. Try not to let it bog you down, because it really won't matter in the final analysis. It
Yeah.
is pretty wild.
Yeah. If you are listening to this, tell everyone in your life that you love them. If you have any grudges, drop them. You only get one shot. Make the
Not
most
worth
of
it.
it.
That is right. Love you, buddy.
Love you. Love you so much. And
Love you all listening.
we'll see you next time.
Yes.